What if I told you an ancient city had better plumbing than some modern towns? And what if there's a lake in India created by a meteorite that most people have never even heard of? Today we're not just looking at India. We're uncovering 15 secrets that will completely blow your mind. I'm talking about things you won't find in any travel guide. We're going to explore ancient engineering marvels, natural wonders that defy science, and traditions so old they seem impossible. Are you ready to see a side of India that's been hidden in plain sight? We're going to explore everything from a single tree that looks like an entire forest to a martial art that's thousands of years old. I've spent weeks digging up these facts, and I promise you, some of them are going to make you question everything you thought you knew. We're talking about a civilization that mastered urban planning 4,000 years ago, and a fabric so complex it takes a year to make a single piece. This isn't just a list of facts, it's a journey into the unbelievable. So buckle up, let's get started. Okay, first up, let's talk about something insane: plumbing. I know, it sounds boring, but what if I told you a city from 4,000 years ago had a drainage system more advanced than some places today? I'm talking about Mohenjo-Daro, part of the Indus Valley civilization. Almost every single house was connected to a central drainage system. Imagine this: you're living in 2500 BCE. Your house, made of baked bricks, has its own private bathroom and a toilet. The wastewater from your home flows through clay pipes hidden under the streets into a network of covered drains. These drains were big enough for workers to walk through to clean them out. They had manholes and inspection points, just like modern sewers. The entire city was built on a grid system, with streets running perfectly north-south and east-west. They had public wells and even a massive public bath, the Great Bath. The Great Bath was sealed with waterproof bitumen and still holds water today. While other major civilizations were still figuring things out, these people had a system that kept the city clean and hygienic. They solved a problem London and Paris struggled with until the 19th century. How did they figure this out so early? It's one of history's greatest engineering mysteries. All right, from ancient cities we're blasting off into space. Well, sort of. In the middle of India, in Maharashtra, there's a place that looks like it belongs on another planet. It's called Lonar Crater Lake, created when a massive meteorite weighing over 2 million tons slammed into the Earth at 90,000 kilometers per hour. It's one of the only hypervelocity impact craters in basaltic rock on Earth. It's a geological superstar most tourists completely miss. The lake's water is bizarre. It's saline and alkaline, two chemical properties that don't mix. That creates an ecosystem you won't find anywhere else. One part of the lake is like the ocean, another part is like a completely different body of water. Scientists are still studying the unique microbes and algae. Some say it could hint at life on other planets, like Mars. For centuries, people told legends about a demon and a god. In the 19th century, a British officer guessed volcanic. But scientists confirmed the real answer: a direct hit from outer space, equal to a 6-megaton nuclear bomb. The lake even changes colors, sometimes blue-green, other times shocking pink, or a deep red, driven by specific algae and bacteria in the salty water. A 50,000-year-old crater created by a space rock, with water like a chemistry experiment that literally changes color. And it's just sitting there in the Indian countryside. Okay, get ready for this next one, because it's going to mess with your head. What if I showed you a picture of what looks like a dense forest and told you it was actually just one single tree? No, I'm not kidding. In Kolkata, there's a tree called the Great Banyan, an absolute monster. It's over 250 years old and has the largest canopy of any tree on Earth. It covers about 3.5 acres, bigger than the average Walmart. From a distance, you'd swear it's a grove of hundreds of trees. But the trick is, its aerial roots. Banyans grow massive roots down from their branches. Aerial roots drop, touch the ground, and dig in. Once rooted, they thicken into woody trunks. The Great Banyan has over 3,600 of those roots. The original main trunk rotted after a lightning strike in 1925, yet the child trunks support and keep the tree growing. Walking underneath is surreal. like entering a massive open-air cathedral of wood and leaves. There's even a 330-meter road built around it, and the tree is now threatening to cross the road. The sheer scale is impossible to capture in a photo. You really have to be there, supported by thousands of trunks, all the same organism. This tree is a living, breathing ecosystem. It supports countless birds, insects, and other animals. It's a testament to nature, making something vast from a single seed. Not just a big tree, a biological marvel that survived cyclones, lightning, and centuries of change. Chapter 4. Everyone knows about Kung Fu and Karate, but what about the martial art that might be the mother of them all? Deep in Kerala, there's a fighting style called Kalaripayattu, believed to be one of the oldest surviving martial arts, with roots over 3,000 years. This isn't just about fighting. It blends intense physical training, yoga-like flexibility, and deep knowledge of the human body. The training is insane. It starts when kids are around 7 years old. They begin with full-body oil massages, then exercises that look like gymnastics, yoga, and animal movements, leaping like a lion, charging like a boar. These build superhuman agility, balance, and strength. It's not brute force, it's fluid, graceful, deadly efficiency. After the body comes weapons, long wooden staffs, swords, shields, daggers, spears. The urumi, a terrifying flexible sword. Watching a master wield an urumi is mesmerizing and scary. It takes insane skill not to injure yourself. But Kalaripayattu isn't just combat, it's deeply connected to healing. Masters often practice Ayurvedic medicine, treating bones and nerve injuries. They can break a body and fix it. It's influenced modern dance and movie stunts in Indian cinema, yet it remains a hidden gem in traditional Kalari schools. Chapter 5. Imagine trying to solve a Rubik's Cube, but instead of a cube, it's 1,000 threads, and you have to do it before you can even start weaving a piece of fabric. That's the closest I can get to describing Patan Patola, one of the most complex and expensive textile arts in the world. It's a mathematical and artistic feat perfected by a few families in Gujarat for over 900 years. The secret techniques are passed down from one generation to the next. Here's what makes it so mind-blowingly difficult. It's a double ikat technique. In normal weaving, you dye the threads and then weave them. In single ikat, you dye the warp or the weft before weaving. But in double ikat, both warp and weft are individually tie-dyed with a precise pattern. The threads are dyed before they are even put on the loom. The weaver has to calculate exactly where the colors will intersect to form the final design. It's like creating a pixelated image in your head and then dyeing thousands of threads to match it perfectly. If the calculations are off by even a millimeter, the entire pattern is ruined. A single patola sari can take anywhere from 6 months to over a year to create, involving the work of an entire family. The natural dyes used are part of the secret, creating vibrant colors that are said to last for centuries. These saris are often passed down as heirlooms and are considered a symbol of ultimate luxury and status. Because it's so difficult and time-consuming, only a handful of families still practice it. They guard their secrets closely. Owning a real patola is like owning a piece of history, a masterpiece of human ingenuity, a fabric that tells a story of math, patience, and artistry that is almost impossible to comprehend. It's not just a piece of clothing, it's a work of art that you can wear. Chapter 6. We put it in our coffee, our cakes, our sodas. Sugar is everywhere. But have you ever stopped to think about where the solid crystalline sugar we use every day came from? It wasn't from a modern factory. The secret to turning sugarcane juice into storable, transportable crystals was unlocked in ancient India over 2,000 years ago. This one innovation completely changed the world, fueling global trade and changing diets forever. Before India's discovery, most of the world used honey or fruit juice for sweetness. People knew about sugarcane, but only as a liquid syrup, heavy, sticky, and quick to spoil. The game changer was the Indian invention of crystallization, boiling the juice, cooling it in a specific way, and seeding it to create crystals, called shakara in Sanskrit, the origin of the word sugar. Suddenly, you had a sweetener that was lightweight, easy to transport, and had a long shelf life. Indian traders exported sugar crystals along the Silk Road and maritime routes. For centuries, sugar was a rare luxury in Europe. White gold, even sold as medicine. Knowledge spread to Persia, the Arab world, and then Europe, kicking off massive sugar plantations in the New World. A complicated history, but it all started in an ancient Indian kitchen. So the next time you drop a sugar cube into your tea, remember the Indian technology that made the world a sweeter place and redrew the map of global trade. Chapter 7. Imagine living in a place where it rains so much. The sound of it is a constant roar. You have to build your bridges out of living tree roots because wooden bridges would just rot away. Now imagine two towns, just 15 kilometers apart, fighting for the title of the wettest place on Earth. Welcome to Meghalaya, Mawsynram, Cherrapunji. These villages get more rain in a year than most cities do in a decade. Cherrapunji held the Guinness record. Recently, Mawsynram has been taking the crown, averaging over 11,172 millimeters a year, nearly 40 feet, enough to submerge a 3-story building. The monsoon season is relentless. Clouds roll through streets. Visibility drops to 0. People don't use normal umbrellas. They wear full-body bamboo and banana leaf shields called nups. Why so wet? A perfect storm of geography. Moist monsoon clouds from the Bay of Bengal are funneled up the Khasi Hills, forced to rise, cool, and dump their water here. The result is a lush landscape, waterfalls, deep gorges, biodiversity, and adaptations like living root bridges that strengthen as the trees grow. The Mawsynram-Cherrapunji rivalry is nature's extremes and human adaptability on display. A place where the sky literally opens up, you know. Chapter 8. High up in the Western Ghats and the Nilgiris, there's a unique ecosystem found nowhere else on Earth. Shola forests. Rolling grasslands on mountaintops with dense, stunted forests tucked into valleys. Sky islands. Isolated for millions of years, they're packed with endemic plants and animals found nowhere else. India's own Galapagos, on mountains. Orchids, mosses, ancient trees, and the Nilgiri tahr, master of the cliffs. These ecosystems are fragile, threatened by climate change and invasive species. The grasslands absorb monsoon rains and feed rivers that supply millions downstream. Beautiful and vital to water security. Chapter 9. We're time-traveling way back. In central India, the Bhimbetka rock shelters, over 750 caves, homes for prehistoric ancestors. Not just old caves, one of the largest prehistoric art galleries in the world, with paintings dating as far back as 30,000 years. These aren't crude stick figures. Bison, tigers, rhinos, hunting scenes with spears and bows. A snapshot when humans were part of the food chain. As you move, the art evolves. Dancing in groups, musical instruments, rituals, childbirth, burials, community, domesticated animals, warriors on horseback, swords and shields. Protected by rock overhangs, pigments made from minerals and plants bonded with the rock surface have survived for tens of thousands of years. Standing there, looking at a drawing made 30,000 years ago, is humbling. A direct connection to our deepest ancestors. A silent story of survival, creativity, and the dawn of human consciousness. Well. Chapter 10. You probably know India is diverse, but do you know how diverse? It's a linguistic labyrinth. Officially, India has 22 scheduled languages, but the full number is staggering. Over 1,600 languages and dialects across the country. Travel 100 kilometers, and the local language can be completely different. Even currency notes carry 17 languages to be understood by most people. Not accents, entirely separate languages with their own scripts, grammar, vocabulary, Indo-Aryan, Dravidian, and tiny isolated families. In remote villages, some languages are spoken by only hundreds or dozens. The Great Andamanese have a family unrelated to any other. When the last speaker dies, knowledge, stories, and a unique worldview die with them. Organizations and linguists are in a race against time to record and preserve them. It's a living museum of migration, history, culture. A country isn't just borders, it's thousands of voices and stories. Chapter 11. Every year in Pushkar, Rajasthan, the desert transforms into a massive festival, the Pushkar Camel Fair. Way more than just a market. Hundreds of thousands arrive. Farmers, traders, pilgrims, tourists. Up to 50,000 camels, horses, cattle are traded, teeth checked, health inspected. A raw glimpse of desert life. Around the trading core erupts camel races, best decorated contests, even camel beauty pageants, folk music and dance, mustache competitions, turban tying contests, street food and music everywhere. The town becomes a giant, open-air party with Ferris wheels, market stalls, textiles, swords, handicrafts, massive tent camps. Tradition meets modern tourism. It's an economic powerhouse and a living spectacle turned global phenomenon, all centered around the humble ship of the desert. Chapter 12. If you think you know Indian food because you've had butter chicken, you've barely scratched the surface. It's like a different country every time you cross a state line. Dozens of distinct cuisines shaped by climate, agriculture, history, and ingredients unique to each region. India has thousands of indigenous rice varieties. Fragrant basmati, sticky Kerala red rice, salt-resistant coastal rice, each with different texture, flavor, use. Lentils, spices, vegetables vary wildly, and fermentation is a cornerstone. Dosas, idlis, fermented bamboo shoots, kanji drinks, for flavor, preservation, and nutrition. A meal in Punjab, rich creamy curries and wheat breads, is a world away from Bengal's delicate fish stews and mustard oil flavors, and from Goa's Portuguese-influenced sour and spicy vindaloos. The culinary map is a mosaic passed down through generations, a delicious testament to biodiversity and cultural richness. Chapter 13. Long before fast fashion, textiles from India shaped global trade and fashion. Patna and surrounding regions were at the heart of a revolution. Indigo dye and calico-printed fabrics. Indian indigo, deeper and longer lasting than Europe's woad, was blue gold. And calico from calicut, printed with wooden blocks and natural dyes, created intricate patterns Europe couldn't replicate. Chintz caused a sensation. Demand threatened wool and silk, prompting bans. The influence was unstoppable. Attempts to copy Indian techniques helped spur the Industrial Revolution. Artisan clusters near Patna still block print and dye, keeping alive a craft that dressed the world and changed fashion history. Outro. And there you have it. 15 facts about India that I bet you've never heard before. From a 4,000-year-old city with modern plumbing, a single tree that looks like a forest, a fabric so complex it takes a year to make, a lake created by a meteorite, and the oldest martial art. India's hidden stories never stop. I'm genuinely curious. What do you think? Which surprised you most, and which hidden gem should we cover next? 30,000-year-old art gallery? Living root bridges? India basically invented sugar? Which fact surprised you most? Let me know in the comments below. Your suggestions could be our next deep dive. I read every single one. Don't be shy. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're planning a follow-up episode, maybe Patola in Gujarat or the Lonar crater with a geologist. Your comments will help us decide. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Final slate with animated like and subscribe.